you ever replayed a conversation in your head like 20 times? Or spent hours worried about a decision that should have taken simply 20 minutes? Overthinking is one of the biggest mental traps today. It steals your time, your joy, and it keeps you stuck. Also just simply drains your energy. Here's the good news. You can actually train your mind to stop overthinking. Welcome back to the Primrose channel. I'm Primrose and this is your safe space for healing, self-care and rediscovery. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to stop overthinking. I'm going to share with you 5 practical strategies you can start implementing into your life today to help you with overthinking. First, let's clear something up right now. Overthinking is simply not thinking too much. Overthinking is thinking without not reaching a conclusion. How many times have you got yourself into a situation and then you sit, you worry about it, you think about it, you think of the ways that you can solve it, you think of the ways that you could have handled that situation before that outcome has happened. You think of all the implication that's going to happen if that situation is not solved. You think of how many people are going to look at you and talk about that situation. Do you see what's just happened? Overdrive. That is simply your mind thinking, overthinking without reaching a conclusion. Overthinking is when your brain keeps you in a loop, a repetitive loop. Your brain will constantly be thinking, what if I say the wrong thing? What if this thing don't work? What if I fail? And when you're overthinking, your mind thinks it's helping you solve the problem. But instead, it creates stress and paralysis. It just keeps you in that state of mind of just thinking without a solution. And remember, I'm not making this video to say stop thinking, right? Because the goal is not to stop thinking. The goal is to stop unproductive thinking. Thinking without a solution. And I feel like one powerful way to stop yourself overthinking is give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a decision deadline. What do I mean by this? If you have a message that you've just received and you don't know what to do with it, give yourself 5 minutes to decide. Or if you are working on a journey where you don't want to spend so much of your finances and you don't know if you should buy a certain thing, I always say leave that decision for 24 hours. And for bigger decisions, leave it for a bit longer, for 2 or 3 days. There is no need for you to rush into making certain decisions there and then. And I feel like in the moment of trying to make rash decisions, your brain almost has to protect you by going into an overdrive of overthinking. You end up overthinking a situation that is this small and it becomes this big. And when your brain knows that there's a certain deadline that you've set yourself for a certain task, it shifts from anxiety mode to action mode because you've almost told your brain that, look, I know this is happening, but I'm gonna sort it in 2 days' time. So in that space of time, you've given yourself time to process and think clearly for a plan on how to deal with that thing. And remember, get out of your head and get yourself into action. So if you're overthinking a conversation and you don't know how to deal with a hard conversation with someone in person, turn that conversation into a text. Send a text message instead. And if you're stuck worrying about a project or an idea, start with the tiny steps. Start with the part of that idea of that project that's the easiest for you to do. And if you're anxious about going to the gym or start working out, just start by putting your shoes. Start by going out for a walk. Stop overthinking and procrastinating an idea because you will never get to do it. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start eating healthy, or I'm going to start being serious about my content creation journey, and then you start writing ideas down and you start getting ideas online and putting it into different folders and files, and eventually when you look at it, it looks like it's such a big thing to do because what your brain has just done is help you put different tasks into different boxes and now you don't know where to start. So if you are trying to do something, whether it's gym, whether it's trying to be good in your fitness, just put on your shoes and go out for a walk. Put on your gym clothes when you're at home. I feel like that motivates me a lot to stop overthinking about working out. Sometimes if I really want to go to the gym, but I feel like I don't have the motivation or I keep overthinking myself out of going to the gym, I wake up and I'll wear my gym clothes and I'll just be in the house. There is something about that pushes me to go to the gym. And another tip, challenge your thoughts. Most overthinking is built on assumptions and no reality. Some of the things that you're overthinking in your head are not facts. They're just your thoughts. And if you're not careful, your thoughts will keep you stuck and they will keep you in stillness. It's like you want to go to a social gathering or you're out in public and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I bet everyone thinks I'm awkward. Oh, I'm too short. Probably everyone is laughing at me. Oh, I'm not dressed to the part. I bet everyone is thinking, what am I doing here? Reality check, you don't know that. You don't know what other people are thinking in their head. Those are your thoughts. And when you continue ruminating on negative thoughts, they become your reality. It stops you now wanting to go out to socialize with people. It stops you now looking at yourself and loving yourself. It creates self-judgment. And I always say this in my videos. Most people are busy worrying about themselves rather than worrying about you. And if you learn to always question your thoughts, your overthinking thoughts, it takes power away from them. Tip number 5, create a worrying window, right? I know this sounds strange. Like, what does she mean, create a worrying window? What I mean is, instead of trying to stop overthinking and worrying completely, schedule a timeline. So if something has happened right now, schedule a timeline like, okay, I am going to worry and cry for the next 15 minutes. And that is your worry overthinking window. 15 minutes of the day, I'm going to sit here and cry and crash out. And during that time, overthink all you want, but also write things down. I always write things in my notes. And it's very interesting to see when you revisit certain things that you've written down an hour or a couple days ago, you will actually see that the way you were thinking at that time is completely different to how you might be right now. Write down a plan of how you might do that thing in that moment, and you might not have a plan, but write it down. Take it out of your head and free yourself. And learn to tell yourself when a problem comes into your head, like, you know what, not now. I'm not dealing with that right now. I'll deal with that later. Because life will always life. And if you continue to react to what life throws at you all the time, you will always fail. Tip number 5, focus on what you can control. Because overthinking usually focuses on things that you can't control. When we overthink what will people say. You think about people's thoughts. You worry about how the community or people view you. You almost think about things that you can't control. You worry about future outcomes, and it's normal to worry about what your future is going to look like, to worry about where your next paycheck is going to come from. It's normal to worry about those things, but what is not normal is to sit with one problem and overthink yourself into numbness. It's either you sit and you worry about something, overthink about it, but then you need to then find a plan on how to deal with that thing. Find a plan on where you can get support to deal with that problem. Peace comes from shifting focus to what you can control. The things that you can control is your efforts, your habits, and your attitude to things. Remember, overthinking doesn't disappear overnight, but every time you choose action over rumination, you get stronger. So start small. Pick up one strategy that I said in this video and just start. So, and if this video helped you, please like this video, comment below. And if you've watched this video to the end and you have not subscribed, subscribe to my channel, guys, and I'll definitely see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.